In the heart of London, where the cobblestones whispered secrets and the skies wept with the melancholy of unwritten love stories, Lucas Mueller and Clara O'Shea dashed through the relentless rain. Their laughter, bright and defiant against the city's nocturnal symphony, was like a melody composed of hope and longing. They huddled under a feeble umbrella, its fabric barely a shield against the downpour, their clothes adhering to their skin like second skins, revealing the contours of their shared adventure and the promise of more intimate revelation. Lucas and Clara share a small, ineffective umbrella, their clothes clinging to their skin. They dash across the street, narrowly avoiding a cab, and duck into a narrow alley.
This way, Clara. There's shelter nearby.
They arrive at an entrance. It was an old English pub. The pub was an oasis of warmth, a haven from the tempest outside. Here, in this cozy corner of London, two souls found refuge, and perhaps something more. Lucas and Clara stumble in, dripping water on the old wooden floor. They find a secluded corner near the fireplace.
Lucas, you're brilliant for knowing this place.
Brilliant or just lucky?
Clara's eyes catch the firelight, her cheeks flushed from the cold and excitement. Lucas removes his jacket, revealing a soaked shirt that clings to his frame. Lucas handing her a napkin.
For your hair?
Clara takes it, dabbing at her hair, her gaze never leaving his.
You always know how to turn a rainy day into an adventure.
And you, Clara, are the adventure itself.
They share a look that speaks of more than just friendship, as they order drinks from a passing waitress.
What'll it be?
2 Irish coffees, please.
The waitress nods, moving away as Clara leans closer to Lucas, the fire casting shadows across her face.
I feel like we're characters in one of those novels you sketch about.
You inspire my best sketches.
They clink mugs when their drinks arrive, the warmth spreading through them, mingling with the heat of the moment. They find a little room in the back, all private and all for themselves. The room is small, almost forgotten, with shelves lined with dusty bottles and old, unused bar supplies. A single, bare bulb hangs from the ceiling, casting a warm, dim light that barely reaches the corners of the room. The sound of the rain outside is a distant murmur, like a secret shared between lovers. The air is thick with anticipation, the space filled with the scent of old wood and the lingering aroma of whiskey from the bar. Narrator in the back room of the pub, a different kind of warmth awaited. Here, in the dim light, Lucas and Clara would explore the art of passion, the dance of desire. Lucas leads Clara into this intimate space, closing the door behind them with a soft click that seems to seal them away from the world.
We should get out of these wet clothes, for warmth's sake.
Clara's laughter is light, a melody in the quiet room, but her eyes are alight with the thrill of what might come next.
Is that all it's for, Lucas? Just warmth?
Lucas smiles, a slow, knowing smile that sends a shiver down Clara's spine, not from the cold.
Perhaps warmth of a different kind.
With deliberate slowness, Lucas begins to unbutton his shirt, the fabric heavy with rain, sticking to his skin. Clara watches, her breath catching as each button reveals more of him, the light playing over the contours of his chest. Clara's fingers tracing the line of his collarbone.
You're an artist with more than just your sketches, aren't you?
Lucas doesn't reply with words. Instead, he reaches for Clara, his hands finding the hem of her blouse, lifting it gently, a question in his eyes. She nods, a silent consent, and he pulls it over her head, the movement releasing her hair in a wild cascade. Her skin is pale, goosebumps rising not just from the chill but from the electric charge between them. They stand there, half-clothed, the tension palpable. Lucas's hands move to Clara's waist, pulling her closer, their bodies now only a whisper apart. Clara's hands are on Lucas's shoulders, feeling the strength beneath, her fingertips tracing the lines of his muscles.
Let's create something beautiful.
Their kiss is a revelation, a conversation of tongues and breath, of hands that explore with the tenderness of artists creating their masterpiece. Lucas's hands roam over Clara's back, unhooking her bra with a practiced ease that speaks of experience, but with a reverence that suggests this moment is unique. Clara's hands are equally busy, tracing the lines of Lucas's back, the scars that tell stories of a life lived intensely. Each touch is a brush stroke, each breath a note in their symphony.
What art are we making tonight, Lucas?
We're painting with passion, sculpting with desire.
He guides her back against the wall, the coolness of it a stark contrast to the heat of their bodies. Clara's hands slide down to Lucas's belt, undoing it with a mix of urgency and care, each movement charged with meaning. The removal of clothing becomes a ritual, a dance of seduction where each piece shed is like unveiling layers of a story. Lucas's pants fall, Clara's skirt follows, and soon they're in nothing but their desire, the vulnerability of skin against skin. They come together again, this time with less restraint, their bodies fitting like pieces of a puzzle meant to be joined. Lucas lifts Clara, her legs wrapping around him as he presses her against the wall, the act of lifting her an assertion of strength and care.
Lucas, this feels like...
Like we're writing our own story, page by page.
Their movements become a rhythm, slow at first, learning each other's contours, then building into something more urgent, more primal. Each thrust, each touch is like a stroke on a canvas, creating layers of color and emotion. The room fills with the sounds of their union, the whispers of their breath, the soft moans of pleasure, all underscored by the steady drumming of the rain outside, as if nature itself is in rhythm with their passion. Finally, they reach a crescendo, a climax that's both a physical release and an emotional peak, their bodies shuddering in unison, the art they've created together hanging in the air like a tangible thing. They remain there, locked together, breathing heavily, the world outside forgotten. Lucas gently sets Clara down, their foreheads touching, eyes closed, as they share the afterglow of their creation.
You, Clara, you are my muse tonight.
And you, Lucas, are my artist.
They begin to dress, the intimacy of the act now a tender postscript to their passionate narrative. Each piece of clothing is a reminder, a promise of stories yet to be written, of adventures yet to be lived. The rain has lessened to a drizzle, the sound of the city quieter but ever present. Emerging from their secluded sanctuary, Lucas and Clara carried with them the warmth of their shared art. The rain now a gentle caress on their skin. Lucas and Clara emerge from the pub, their clothes mostly dry, but their chemistry palpable. They're both flushed, the night's escapade etched onto them like a secret tattoo. Lucas checking his watch.
We should hurry. Our train to Paris leaves soon.
Paris, the city of love, or should I say, of more stories to chase.
They share a knowing look, the promise of further adventures clear. They start walking briskly towards the train station, their steps in sync. The station is a blend of modern and Victorian architecture, the sound of announcements, footsteps, and the general bustle of travelers. At the train station, a new chapter loomed, one where the echoes of their London night would resonate in the heart of Paris. Lukas and Clara arrive at the platform, just as their train is about to depart. There's an urgency in their movements, but also a lingering touch, a caress of hands as they board. Lukas, as they settle into their seats,
This was just the beginning, wasn't it?
Oh, absolutely. Our story has so many more pages to turn.
the train begins to move, the rhythm of the wheels against the tracks a new melody to their ongoing saga. They lean into each other, the night in London now a cherished chapter, but with Paris on the horizon, their adventure is far from over. And so, with the city fading into the night, Lukas and Clara embarked on a journey not just to Paris, but into the heart of their shared narrative, where every moment is a story waiting to be told.